Long before the rise of the Empire and the devastating war between the Republic and the Separatists, Vandar Tokare served as the head of the Jedi Enclave Council on Dantooine. His appearance was immediately striking, as he closely resembled Master Yoda in both stature and species. As a respected Jedi Master, Vandar held seats on both the Jedi High Council and the Council of the Jedi Academy. Most notably, he played a significant role during the Mandalorian Wars, a conflict that would reshape the galaxy in ways few could have predicted. Among all known members of Yoda's species, Vandar remains uniquely identifiable for one unusual reason. He had a surname. While figures like Yoda are known by a single name, Vandar Tokare stood apart in that regard, a detail that quietly set him apart. Making his first appearance in the video game Knights of the Old Republic, Vandar also differed from Yoda in how he spoke. Unlike Yoda's reversed sentence structure, Vandar used standard basic grammar. In combat, Vandar was far from frail. He wielded 2 lightsaber shotos and was recognized as a highly skilled Force user despite his small size. Vandar also played a key role in aiding his former student, Zane Carrick, who had been framed for the murder of fellow Padawans during their knighting ceremony. Confused and terrified, Carrick reached out to Vandar, insisting on his innocence and explaining how he barely escaped after witnessing his own teachers kill the 2 Padawans. At the time, this claim was difficult for Vandar to accept. However, Carrick eventually uncovered compelling evidence, forced the true perpetrators to confess, and cleared his name, validating Vandar's cautious faith in him. Revan's presence on the council sparked intense debate, especially between Vandar and Rook Lamar, over whether he should be retrained as a Jedi. You won't believe how divided the council became over this single decision. Vandar ultimately played a decisive role in restoring Revan, sending him on a mission to locate the star maps and destroy the Star Forge. Revan's success led to his reinstatement as a Jedi Knight, though the scars of war remained far from healed. Years later, when the Republic believed peace had finally returned, Jedi Master Atris summoned several Jedi, including Vandar, to a gathering on Qatar. Officially, the meeting was meant to discuss the future of the Jedi Order. In reality, Atris had another agenda. She deliberately leaked the meeting's location, intending to use the assembled Jedi as bait. Her plan succeeded in the worst possible way. Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger, arrived on Qatar and consumed the Force energy of every living being present. Vandar was killed in the massacre, his life extinguished in a moment of unimaginable devastation. Despite his death, Vandar's wisdom did not vanish. His knowledge and personality were later preserved within one of the great holocrons, ensuring his teachings would endure long after his passing. Another known member of Yoda's species was a female Jedi Master with auburn hair, a rare trait among a species typically hairless, or nearly so. She was the only confirmed member of Yoda's species alive during his lifetime and was roughly half his age. Known as Yaddle, she was deeply devoted to the care and guidance of Jedi younglings. She believed in teaching through understanding rather than punishment and was always available to offer advice. Her compassion extended not only to children but to fellow Jedi Masters as well. According to legend, before attaining the rank of Jedi Master, Yaddle and her own master, Polvin Koot, were sent to the planet Koba to free its people from the rule of the warlord Tulak. Yaddle was captured and imprisoned deep underground. She endured relentless torture and interrogation, but refused to reveal any information about the Jedi. Eventually, an earthquake shattered her prison and freed her. Though she was finally able to escape, Yaddle saw that the people of Koba still suffered from famine and disease. Instead of leaving, she chose to stay and help them. Once Yaddle finally returned to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, she was immediately offered a seat on the Jedi Council. This was unusual, as members of her species were still considered Padawans at that age. Master Yoda initially objected, finding the decision unconventional, but he accepted her appointment after glimpsing her future through the Force. Yaddle watched countless Padawans grow within the Jedi Temple and trained notable students of her own, including Alranchis and Vester Ruo. One night, she encountered a 12-year-old Padawan sparring long past bedtime. The boy was clearly driven and eager to become a powerful Jedi. While Yaddle respected his determination, she still insisted he rest. That Padawan was Qui-Gon Jinn. Yaddle was later present during the evaluation of Anakin Skywalker. However, following the Battle of Naboo, she chose to step down from the Jedi Council, openly critical of their decisions. She believed their refusal to heed Dooku's warnings and their handling of Qui-Gon Jinn's death were grave mistakes. After Qui-Gon's death, Yaddle encountered Dooku within the temple. When he refused to attend his former Padawan's funeral, she followed him and uncovered his secret alliance with the Sith Lord Darth Sidious. Despite this betrayal, Yaddle showed compassion, urging Dooku to bring Sidious to justice and seek redemption. Dooku, overwhelmed by grief and deeply influenced by Sidious, claimed it was already too late. He insisted his actions were necessary to bring order to the galaxy. Yaddle was ultimately killed by Dooku, her final moments marked by sorrow and disappointment. Some legends, however, tell a different version of her fate, claiming she sacrificed herself during a mission with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker to restore peace on the planet Mawan. Either way, her story reflects her selfless nature, making his first and only appearance in Star Wars. The Old Republic, Oteg was another member of Yoda's species who spoke proper basic and nothing like Yoda, yet displayed extraordinary wisdom. Roughly 200 years before the Great Galactic War, Oteg began his path as a Jedi. During a battle in space, the captain of his ship was killed, sending parts of the crew into chaos. Oteg immediately took command of the Serapin Wanderer, restoring order without hesitation. With the crew awaiting direction, Oteg devised a deceptively simple strategy. Rather than waste heavy firepower, he lured the enemy fleet toward a nearby nebula. The pursuing Imperial ships fired recklessly, detonating the volatile gases and destroying themselves exactly as Oteg anticipated. Wicked. This victory earned Oteg widespread recognition, and upon returning to Republic space, he was appointed to the Jedi High Council for his tactical brilliance. During this period, Supreme Chancellor Dorian Janaris considered who would be best suited to strike back against the enemy as Fleet Admiral. His choice fell on Oteg. Without hesitation, Oteg stepped into his new role as Jedi Admiral and assumed command of the Republic dreadnought Telos, along with a fleet of more than 50 vessels. The war against the Sith Empire pressed on. At one point, he and an elite 4-member strike team encountered a Force ghost who was no stranger to him. It was Mitra Surik, the Jedi exile of the Mandalorian Wars, who had died while attempting to destroy the Sith Emperor alongside Revan. As if answering a long unheard call for help, Mitra revealed the existence of a Jedi Master who had been held captive by the Sith for over 300 years. That prisoner was Revan himself. Revan had once led the Jedi against the Mandalorians and later destroyed the Starforge during the Jedi Civil War. To free him, Oteg and his forces first needed to recover a Gree Key, an ancient navigation device capable of revealing the prison's location. The device was stored within an Imperial compound. After securing the Gree Key, Oteg led his team into the Maelstrom, the region identified as Revan's place of confinement. They infiltrated the Imperial prison from within and clashed with the Imperial Fifth Fleet. The battle quickly turned desperate, and the team found themselves cornered. Oteg called in support from a nearby Republic strike force, and together they managed to break through and free Revan. Once the mission succeeded, he personally welcomed Revan aboard the Telos. In one alternate outcome, Oteg is killed during the rescue, which explains his absence from later events following Revan's liberation. The name Minch may sound ordinary, but its owner was anything but. Minch was a member of Yoda's species who, unlike most others, spoke in the same distinctive manner as Yoda himself. Unlike Yoda, however, Minch had long brown hair, making him only the second known member of the species to possess visible hair. His story appears in the Star Wars Tales comic series, issue 16, Heart of Darkness. Minch was trained by the Zabrak Jedi Master Tadai, whom he deeply admired and sought constantly to impress. Tadai guided him carefully to knighthood, and the bond between them remained strong. That desire to prove himself nearly cost Minch everything. Around 700 BBY, a group of dark Jedi invaded the Bifashi system, terrorizing its inhabitants. The Jedi Council dispatched a team of capable Jedi, including Minch, under the leadership of Master Tadai. Upon arriving at a Commerce Guild trading station, the team encountered one of the dark Jedi alone on the station's 5th level. Minch confronted him immediately, but the Dark Jedi mocked his small stature, assuming he was merely a Padawan. Instead of ignoring the taunt, Minch became focused on proving himself. That moment of distraction gave his opponent the advantage, allowing the Dark Jedi to disarm and overpower him. Minch would have been killed if his master and the other Jedi had not arrived in time. When questioned about his master's location, the Dark Jedi refused to speak and ended his own life with his lightsaber. Soon after, Master Tadai learned that a small vessel had escaped the station, almost certainly carrying the Dark Jedi's master. The Jedi pursued the craft into the Sleheran sector of the Dagobah system. As he entered Dagobah's atmosphere, lightning struck his starfighter, sending it crashing into the swamp below. There, Minch sensed a powerful dark presence. Guided by the Force, he entered a cave and confronted the Dark Jedi Master, who attempted to manipulate his fear and anger. Minch soon found himself battling towering, illusory versions of his enemy, along with swarms of smaller manifestations. After overcoming them, he discovered the Dark Jedi Master wounded and defeated. Even then, the Dark Jedi continued to mock him, claiming victory by drawing Minch toward the dark side. As the Dark Jedi's blood seeped into the cave floor, dark side energy spread throughout the chamber, transforming it forever. This would later become the same cave where Yoda experienced visions of the future, where Luke Skywalker confronted the darkness within himself, and where the fate of the Jedi seemed to echo through time. Another member of Yoda's species was still considered a child, though due to their unique aging process, realize he was actually 50 years old. Known later as Grogu, the young being had little hair, limited speech, and a fondness for eating live frogs. Born around 41 BBY, Grogu was raised in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant and survived the Great Jedi Purge. How he remained hidden for so long remains a mystery. Eventually, remnants of the Galactic Empire rediscovered him under the leadership of Moff Gideon. In The Mandalorian, Grogu was located by the bounty hunter Din Djarin, who had been contracted by Dr. Pershing, a scientist working for the Imperial Remnant, to capture the child alive. The deal specified a reduced payment if Grogu was returned dead. Events took an unexpected turn when Din Djarin, confronted with the reality of his target being an infant, destroyed an assassin droid sent to claim Grogu for itself. Their journey eventually led them to the forested planet of Corvus, where Din encountered Ahsoka Tano after a brief standoff that ended once she realized he was not an enemy. Through Ahsoka, Din learned the child's name, Grogu, and his hidden past, as she connected with him through the Force. Observing Grogu's deep attachment to Din, Ahsoka warned that fear and attachment could lead him down a tragic path, one painfully similar to that of her former master. She directed Din to the ancient ruins on Tython, where Grogu could reach out through the Force and choose his destiny. On Tython, Grogu entered deep meditation and called out to any Jedi who might hear him. While the child remained vulnerable, Din encountered Boba Fett and Fennec Shand. Though initially hostile, they joined forces with Din to defend Grogu from Moff Gideon's troops. Despite their efforts, Dark Troopers succeeded in capturing the child and transporting him to Gideon's cruiser. Refusing to give up, Din assembled allies, including Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, and Cara Dune, and boarded the cruiser. After defeating Gideon in combat, Din escorted him to the bridge just as Dark Troopers prepared to breach the doors. Suddenly, a lone figure clad in dark robes entered, wielding a green lightsaber. One by one, the Dark Troopers fell. The Jedi was Luke Skywalker, answering Grogu's call from Tython. Din said goodbye to Grogu, entrusting him to Luke for training. Under Skywalker's guidance, Grogu appeared not to be learning for the first time, but remembering what had been taken from him, including fragments of his survival during Order 66. Sensing Grogu's divided heart, Luke offered him a choice: Beskar armor, gifted by Din, or Master Yoda's lightsaber. Grogu ultimately chose Din, returning to him and later accompanying him to Mandalore. Din formally embraced his role as father, giving the child the name Din Grogu. Legendary across nearly every era of galactic history, Yoda was a Jedi Grandmaster, defined by his small stature, unusual speech, and unmatched wisdom. Born in 896 BBY, he served the Jedi Order for centuries and trained over 20,000 students. He stood among the most influential members of the Jedi Council, alongside figures such as Mace Windu and Ki-Adi-Mundi. Only two others shared the title of Grandmaster with him: Yarael Poof and Pratre Veter. Years before the Clone Wars, Qui-Gon Jinn brought a young boy named Anakin Skywalker before the Council, believing him to be the chosen one. Yoda and the Council sensed great fear in the boy and refused his training. After Qui-Gon's death, Yoda reluctantly allowed Obi-Wan Kenobi to train Anakin, honoring his fallen master's final wish. When Order 66 was issued, clone troopers under Commander Gree attempted to execute Yoda. Sensing betrayal, he struck first and survived. Agreeing that the Sith must be confronted, Yoda faced Darth Sidious while Obi-Wan confronted Anakin, now Darth Vader. Despite his skill, Yoda realized he could not defeat the Emperor. Accepting exile, he fled with the help of Senator Bail Organa. Before departing, Yoda taught Obi-Wan how to commune with Qui-Gon Jinn, revealing that immortality through the Force was possible. Yoda chose Dagobah as his refuge, settling near the dark side cave while maintaining balance through his presence in the light. Years later, Yoda trained Luke Skywalker on Dagobah. There, he eventually passed away, telling Luke that he would be the last Jedi and hinting at another Skywalker tied to Darth Vader. Long before that era, a monument stood in the Valley of the Jedi following the 7th Battle of Ruusan, depicting a figure resembling Yoda's species. The battle marked the end of the new Sith Wars, when Darth Bane betrayed the Brotherhood of Darkness and unleashed a thought bomb that annihilated both Sith and Jedi. Thousands of Force-sensitive beings were bound to the site, creating the Valley of the Jedi. Among its monuments stood one honoring an unknown member of Yoda's species, remembered as a Jedi who stood against the rising darkness. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more related content shown on screen.